All right, folks, welcome back. We're here on to episode number 12. I have tonight a special guest, first guest actually. He goes by the name of Danny Rock Malowitz. And I'm telling you, folks, you know, my new twist to the show is actually adding a little entertainment. Last time we were two episodes ago, we were previewed and honored to have my buddy and good chum, Frank, and his lovely wife, Marilyn, come on as his coach and biggest cheerleader as he played a couple of nice songs for us, one of which he did a tribute to his late brother who passed away some years ago. Frank, good friend of mine, he came out and spoke with me, and he talked about his dealing with the pandemic. Tonight we have two guests coming on. Danny is our first guest, and then after Danny comes Sir the Ross, and he's going to be coming in from he's actually from Brooklyn. Danny's actually in Brooklyn now. And without further ado, let's get to Danny. So thanks again, everybody, and welcome to this episode number 13. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Tommy. Yes.
So listen, man, how you doing?
I'm doing well, you know, being positive. I tune into the Tommy Williams show, and I get that positive vibe.
Yeah, the positive vibe.
Vibe. But all right, I was doing a job. I did some work over in family house, and I have a nice time here. I like visiting, so I'm staying a little extra because we're going to spend the weekend here, and we're all having a good time.
Very nice, man. So how are things there in Brooklyn in terms of the pandemic and the closing of things? I know I spoke to you the other day, and your wife was heading out. And, you know, can't help but, you know, think other than the weather, which seems to be so inclement there. But it's conducive to what goes on in the wintertime, I know. But, you know, here I am in South Florida, and I'm saying, you know, number one, you're dealing with the weather. Number two, you're dealing with the pandemic and the numbers. So what's happening with the numbers up there in the Northeast?
I heard the numbers are going down as far as corona-related illnesses. I heard the numbers were on a downward spiral. But don't quote me exact. We're gonna have to look that one up. There's laws here. You can't go out past a certain time. I don't know if that's 10 or 11. Today, yeah. I was doing a lot of driveway shoveling. I was getting my things out of my car with heavy snow. It's going to continue till midnight. So it was good exercise. Yeah, I got a nice workout doing that.
Yeah, I'm sure. So listen, folks, you know, I'm going to cut to the skinny. Danny had informed me, you know, he has a different, you know, we've had people come on the show with their take on COVID and the pandemic. And Danny, number one, he's a very talented person. He's a good friend of mine, buddy, for years and years. I'm never one, and he's never been one to hold anybody to politics or things like that. It's about friendship. You know what? Life is so short. Who has time to really lasso themselves to one particular thing in the first place? So with that, you know, Danny made the choice, and, you know, it's his choice. It's a choice of Americans to go with whatever political party you choose. But Danny has a take. He's actually a Republican. Not a problem. You know, and I happen to be a Democrat. But we're not gonna go and hold things to anything. I just want to know your perspective on the pandemic, Danny, and COVID in particular.
Okay, the pandemic, it's a real concern. People have gotten sick from it. I'm not so much into the wear a mask thing, but I wear it to show respect for other people. I don't believe in double masks. I'm not so gun-ho mask thing at all. I believe in social distancing. I think a lot of people that wear the masks, they get corona. Like my sister got corona. She's over it, thank God. And she was very stringent about herself wearing a mask and about other people wearing one. And she used to go around and yell at people, "You better put that mask up." And she got the corona, but thank God she got through it. She was on a nebulizer, not a big deal. A lot of people use those, people who have asthma. She feels a lot better, thank God, and everything's fine. But my corona perspectives, what else in regards to what?
Just like, are the numbers real? Are the situation is real? Do you feel as though you? All right. Well, you know, and this has nothing to really to do with politics. I just wanted to mention that because I find it, you know, it's interesting to get everybody's perspective. Also,
I think
to be raw on here, and you know, the rawest. I mean, you know, if that's big news, and I guess it's hot off the press that you're a Republican. It's not, you know, when you have Democrats, you also have Republicans. I just wanted to be known for the sake of the viewership, and also maybe just leak out what my party is. Big deal. My dad always says, "Don't talk politics." Not really talking politics. I just thought I'd share about that. You mentioned before that that you feel as though there's. Do you wear a mask, Danny? What are your thoughts? Do you believe in
I
wearing
don't
a
wear a
mask?
mask when I'm outside. When I'm outside, I don't wear a mask. When I'm at certain religious parties, I don't wear a mask. We don't have to. And in fact, I never got the corona. There's always a chance. It's not guaranteed that person's not going to get corona. But there's a high chance I'm not going to get it because most of those people had it. They had it already. So once they have it, they develop antibodies and then they're not spreading it. So that's another fact.
You're speaking of the people that
I'm not telling anyone out here to not wear a mask and go out and to a 1,000-person party. I'm not telling you that.
Yeah. Are you saying that most of the people, in terms of the people that you're in relation with or close proximity, they've had corona? You're saying before, so now their antibodies are up. Is that what you're?
No, my circle of people, we did not contact corona. My family circle, except for my sister. My sister did, but nobody else had it. She lives in a separate house. Some of my friends had it, especially my friends in New York. A lot of them had it. But we're not always together every day. There's some separation between us.
Yeah.
I know one guy on a nursing home. She contacted coronavirus, and she took the hydrochloroquine pill, and she was up and bouncing and bopping around the next day. She really was. So I think, you know, there's therapeutic things that are good for people. It just depends. Not everybody's the same. Not everybody's going to react that way. There could be people that don't react as well. I don't know. There's a lot of politics involved. A lot of them. They will not sell hydrochloroquine in New Jersey. They will sell it in Pennsylvania, where my friend's mother was residing. I don't know about Florida or other states, and I don't even know if it works for everybody, but it's one possibility.
Yeah.
I know that does affect people, and it kills people. It could kill people. And
right, because that was
the
initial remedy for this whole COVID in the very beginning. So that was the one that really didn't have much positive proof to it, from what I can recall.
I know there's a 1% chance. There's a 1% chance of a person dying from corona. So what should we do? Should we stop all the economy for the 1% chance of dying, or should the people that are more susceptible to falling ill and, God forbid, dying, should they maybe quarantine? So that's what I kind of think.
So what about the elderly? Like, you know, I've known your parents for a while and things. Do you feel a certain way that about, you know, they need to protect themselves or wear a mask? I mean, you know, how do you feel about
the elderly? Definitely have to social distance. They have to social distance and quarantine. The elderly do. Some elderly don't. I've seen elderly people at parties holding hands with everyone, enjoying and having the times of their lives, and they don't seem to get it. So I don't know. There's some information we're not being told. I don't know.
Yeah. So Danny, you know, I talked about your talent before. Would you happen to have the COVID song queued up so we can hear anything? You think you might be able to cue it up? I see plenty of equipment behind you. You know, I'd love to share that with the people. You know, let them know. You know, it was really a gas, man. I'll tell you. I want to share it with the planet. Any way for you to pull that up?
Yeah, let me see if I have it on here.
Super. Danny does some DJing. He's out there in Brooklyn doing parties. He's also Saxman Dan, everybody. Saxman Dan. He's been playing the saxophone since we were kids. I used to play the trumpet, but I had braces and I used to cut my lips. So I had to put that aside. And now I have something stuffed in there and I can't blow one stinking note out of it. It's like, something's in that pipe. I can't seem to blow anything out of it. I don't know what's going on. I have to bring it up to Jersey when I come. Let's take a look at it.
So Tommy, I want to add one more thing. And this is without getting on one side of politics or the other.
Yes.
The hospitals are not always filling up, and they're claiming that they're filling up. And the ambulances are taking people in and saying that they have corona, and they don't really have corona. I have an associate who waits at hospitals and waits next to ambulances. His name is Kirsch. He's all over Facebook, and he looks at the hospitals and the ambulances, and he finds out that the ambulance get paid a premium when they pick up a COVID-19 patient, and the hospitals also get a premium when they are labeled as Corona-19 patients. So that's just one. That's one way that one thing that I'm thinking about in regards to this pandemic. There's different parts, and that's without getting into any politics. There's certain money that is being made on both sides. That's what I feel.
Through any event that occurs, especially in an overall society or globally, there's money involved. It's business. Businesses emerge. Through COVID, masks are being produced. Through COVID, people are coming up with different remedies that they're attributing and contributing to the success of being able to move through COVID, in a healthier way, or to thwart off the symptoms of COVID. It leads to an element of buy-in, and the big people who have the biggest power to get buy-in is government. So and of course the area within the globe that benefits from COVID the most will be the people dealing with COVID the most, which are the hospitals. So naturally, there has to be, I'm sure, some sort of relationship that's formed between the government and the hospitals.
Right.
And, therein lies, we might look at it as, the evils or whatever have you, or why is this happening? But, somewhere, like you said before, the economy has to press on. And sadly, it's through the grunt of many people's losing their lives with a life. There's a dollar, whether it goes to the funeral home or whether it goes to the country as we're plummeting, because we truly are. There is a deficit that needs to be made up at some point. And so I feel probably that those monies will be allocated through the relationships formed between the government and the hospitals. At some point, there's an earmark somewhere in there for future deficit or future spendings. So, and recovery. So I don't know how that works and operates, but I see what you're saying, and I definitely follow what you're saying. But
absolutely on the earmarks, and it also causes depression. The bad thing about being locked down, people get depressed unless they watch the Tommy Williams show.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Positive vibes, Danny. Yes. And we don't want people dying of depression. We want people to be happy, right?
Yes, absolutely. Mental health.
Especially with what you do and what I do, what we both do.
Yeah. Mental health is very important, Danny. And we had a mental health specialist, on here, and that's something that is very, very serious right now, because people are going absolutely postal out there. We're hearing about what goes on in the news, but it's what we're not hearing about that's really, really more than depressing. It's very, very scary, and it's continuing on with no sight no end in sight, really. But the important thing is that we have platforms to go ahead and talk about this stuff, talk about the realness of it and what's going on out there. And also we have ways to, to bring humor into, what's going on with COVID. As you know, I lost my mom during this time, and it wasn't easy, but then this platform came up, and also my platform on social media with the YouTube channel. So you have to kind of take the good with the bad. You have to look at your blessings, and I think that's something that we all have to do, whether regardless as to what we believe in or what we follow. It's a matter of we have to keep hope alive, and we have to keep following and looking and observing our blessings, because if you don't, you'll truly miss out on today and won't have any future in sight. You'll just be kind of just blind, just going in and out of these days depressed, and depression is it's real. It's real right now, and it's something that permeates. You can wear a smile and go through the day. I had my first conversation. I was telling my Tommy cats and super cats out there today, I had my first heavy conversation with my dad today, ironically, as I planned for this evening. And I'm always pushing out that positive energy and everything like that. And I got on the phone with my dad, and I folded. I've told him I said I miss mommy, and I don't know what to do. And he said, listen. It's almost like he took his hands through the phone and gave me one of these. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. He said, listen, you can't be depressed. You got people relying on you. You got mommy right here looking at you. She's proud of you. You got to hold it together. And sometimes this is the time where you got to look beyond. And sometimes when you look beyond, you have to think about the people who passed on before us, people that are here rooting for us, the blessings of having those people still here that are rooting for us. You got to be able to see through yourself, because that's truly where I was. If I was in a selfish place and just calling them and saying, no, I don't know what to do. I'm just, but I'm calling him, and he lost his wife of 63 years. So for me to call him and just take my dump truck and just turn it around and throw all the crap in his yard, without having some sort of backbone and resilience to say, you know what, I see what I need to do. I just need you to help get this stuff back into the truck so I can press on, And that's kind of what I did, and what we need to do as a globe. I think we have to keep a net over top of that hall in the back, so this stuff doesn't go everywhere. So that when people do come over there to help us up, or we ask for some sort of support, or we pray, or whatever we do, that it's not all over the place. That we just have to do a couple of scoops, figure it all out, pack it in, and keep it moving. And therein lies relationships. Therein lies what I talked to what I spoke to one of my first episodes. I spoke to the mental health person who came on, and she talked about tradition, holding on to tradition. If you speak with your parents on a daily basis, do it. If you walk your dog, if you do your jog in the morning, do it. Don't get away from the routine. But then, were you able to pull that song up? Because I really think that we can use.
Yeah, I do have it.
All right, perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna listen to Danny's COVID song. Yes, Danny, that'd be great.
Around, ain't no going downtown. Stop acting like a fool in the crowd like a clown. This is Danny Rock. You can take notes. If you go outside, you'll get corona in your throat. It ain't fear, it's the Wuhan virus. Breathe it, touch it, shoot it straight through the iris. Chinese people eat dogs, rats, baboons, and cats, raccoons, ferrets, and bats. God money's back, now deal his rats. I don't know why it stopped.
Hey, Danny.
I know this girl and her name was Sharona. She was a strip dancer, but now she got corona. Eminem, Jay-Z, Drake, and Rihanna. Don't care if you eat the bunny, Saint Nick or Santa. Puerto Rican, Asian, black, white race. You need to move, shorty, get out of my face. Just stay inside, and that's your task. If you go out to the store, you better wear a mask. If you go outside, you're gonna get pestered. You'll get locked up, so then sequestered. You wanna run infected, I wish you good luck. I hope them chickens come and lock you up. Wuhan, the corona has the right. Everybody had it and his people were fine. Now the world is infected because the dumb heads lie. Now the stock market's down and my rent is due. Gonna rob me and beg to get Chinese food. Utilities been shut due to this caper. Won't touch my bills, the disease is on the paper. This kind of flu ain't no joke. This the kind of thing that will make you broke. Ain't no bus, ain't no plane, I will hijack the plane. Glide from the sky to an island terrain. Corona is attacking the membrane, causing coughing and more pain. I'm bouncing, getting from this stain. This is insane, make me wanna sniff cocaine. Na 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 na. Wanna be killing without a gun, robbing, stealing, discriminating none. Starting to fill up all the coffins. If you don't want to die, you better use more caution. No toilet paper, you need to use water, but you might not get it because supplies getting shorter. Downtown stop acting like a fool in the crowd like a clown.
Love it, Danny.
We're having some fun with Corona. You gotta get some kind of fun with it.
You do, Danny. You do. You've always had that way about yourself, man. Introduce the seriousness as well as the wit and humor, man. Love it. Hey, so listen,
people ever got a chance to meet your mom like I did, I know from personal experience, she was the sweetest lady in the whole world. She was so nice. She treated me so nicely. She was a special lady. She really was. That was a good lady.
Yeah.
So, you know, my prayers and condolences. But maybe you want to talk about, on a more positive note, how we get through the Corona pandemic, you know, with flying colors.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely, Danny. Well, you know what? You know, I think we touched up on most of the things, but, you know, I always want to give a little takeaway, man. So the takeaways would be some suggestions for people who are watching to be able to move through COVID. Now, I mentioned, you know, what the big takeaway from the mental health specialist was to stick with traditions. I've had people come on and just say, you know, look, try to reinvent yourself, spend some time getting more introspective. I know I did, and figure out what makes you happy. What are some things that you found really help you out during this pandemic and moving through and staying positive? Because every time I speak with you, you're always so positive, Danny.
Now, that's funny that you ask that, because I don't even think about it. I know that's weird, it's bizarre. I don't even remember every day that there's a pandemic going on. That's how much I suppress it. But I do carry the mask because I have to go to stores. But other than that, family's really important. It's good to be around your family, and it's good to cuddle with the person that you love, plus a little more. You know what I'm talking about. You should be married and do that. And you should also have a love and deep faith in God. And if you don't, then I'm sure some of these other things will help you do things that you enjoy doing, do things that you never had time to do. I rebuilt part of my deck. I thought I would never have the chance to do that. But when I was in Corona lockdown, I started getting inventive, and I had more time to do the things that I always wanted to do. So I started fixing things around the house. I started becoming more handy. So that was really good. And I started creating music. I started writing house songs, and I wrote that Corona song. So that was good. And now
we have a house song. We have a house music song we're going to finish up.
What's that?
We have to finish that project. Danny and I are making a house music song.
Absolutely. I can't wait till your voice is on that song, and we're going to put it out on Spotify.
We're going to get it out there, man. But Danny, you know, it's just great having you on here, the positive energy. And, you know, I'm going to have you come back and circle back around with that saxophone, because I just want to let people know how truly talented you are. And you have so much more to share with this group and on this platform. And my door remains open for you, buddy. But I certainly do appreciate your coming on, and look forward to big things in the future from you. So you keep on keeping on, and stay positive, Danny. We'll talk soon.
All right,
Good
thank you,
having you.
Tommy. It's been a pleasure. Next time we'll do some song singing, some sax playing, and DJing.
Sounds great, Danny.
And more talking
Take
about politics even.
there you go, man. We just want to splash that in there. That's it. We're done.
All right.
Danny, I love you, man. You take care of yourself. God bless, man.
All right. Take care.
All right, everybody. I'm glad that we're moving right along with episode number 13. So glad to have you and glad that you're sticking around for more of the show. It's fantastic having Danny on here with some of his entertainment and, good suggestions on COVID. Also just sharing that, you know what, everybody's affected by the pandemic, right? And he has a right to have a different perspective on what it's all about. God bless the planet. For my next guest, I have Sir the Ross. Sir the Ross is coming to us from Philadelphia by way of Brooklyn. And he is quite a wealth of intelligence. I spoke with him for the first time today, and I was quite impressed. He's an avid reader, and you could tell through conversation that he has a very firm perspective on COVID and life in general. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on Sir the Ross.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing, Sir
Hi.
the Ross? All
I'm
right,
doing
welcome
well.
aboard the Tommy Williams Show. So here we are, man. Where do we begin? So this whole pandemic, we've had entertainment, we've had different perspectives. I think you're probably our youngest guest coming on, and so it's pretty cool because you're also one of the younger people probably in the population of my YouTube channel, which is the Tommy Williams channel on YouTube with the pink tea, everybody, with the pink tea. So. It's nice to have you. It's nice to always have different perspectives in life. You really got me with the reading, and then you're Aquarius like my dad. My dad was just on my sister's show, the Wendy Williams show, celebrating his, she was actually paying tribute to my dad as a 90-year-old who's through history. She had him come on as an icon and a person of historical stature to come and represent time.
Yes.
But then he talked about Richard Pryor.
Yeah, I know.
And, he gave him the whole platform to talk about something like so profound. He's like, prolific and this and that. And then he's like, but Richard Pryor said it best. And I was like, you know what? Wait a second. This is getting ready to go down south real fast. But, hey, listen, it's not about my dad. I think one day I'm going to have my dad come on and my sister come on the show, or my other sister too. She's not she doesn't really come out of the show. We talked about that earlier, Wanda, but I think I could draw her out of that little snail shell too. But now you're here, and so is the pandemic. So what in the world are you doing about it, and how is life in Philadelphia? I haven't spoken to anybody going on. So what's happening there?
I mean, it's interesting. What I've been noticing from 2020 to now, I think people are, just trying to, this is the new norm. We know what it is. We know that it's COVID's here. You just have to be extra precautious and get tested if you're going to be in a group of people. Just be smart about what you're doing. I think that's the main thing that I've been seeing here as I travel through the city. I don't go out as often because I have respiratory issues, so I kind of stay away from crowds. I was never a crowd person in the beginning anyway, but I don't put myself in situations where I don't have to be. Like, if I don't have to be there, I'm not going to be there. So, it's interesting. It's just really, really interesting to see how the world has shaped. I think for me, as a more historical context for me, thinking about the Spanish flu and how that came about and how people dealt with that there to now, like, we have more resources, more than the Spanish flu that they had. I read somewhere that either the mayor or the president at that time, Woodrow Wilson,
Yes.
I think that was president at the time, he didn't say anything. He didn't declare a state of emergency. He didn't say a word as the president when this all was going down. We didn't, and it just brings back to full circle. We didn't have leadership at the time Now we do have some type of leadership with this pandemic helping us out. I just feel like people are just really, really trying to just adapt to the new norm. That's just what I see.
Yeah. Do you think that, yeah, it's funny you should use the word adapt. Do you think that there's a threat of people over adapting and pulling away from who they are, and maybe, sometimes adaptation, and this is just something that just came in my mind as you said the word adapt, it's like hyperextend your arm, sometimes it could be painful, sometimes it could be, so I'm thinking about adapting. I'm thinking about, okay, you become more of a hermit, spend time to yourself. Now you're turning yourself maybe into a recluse person so that when things change, you might be different. And do you think there's any drawbacks from this adaptation process?
In my opinion, I feel like, let's just put it this way. I think everything happens for a reason. Think about this, right? And this is not going off topic in any kind of way. I read an article or I heard about this, that the pollution in the world significantly went down in 2020.
Oh, yes, it did.
So think about, I don't think people sit in that perspective and say, oh my God, the pollution went down. Are we talking about global warming? Isn't it snowing in Texas? You know what I'm saying? The thought about how this pandemic has unveiled itself. Yeah, it's a tragedy. Yeah, you're upset. Yeah, you can't be with people. Oh my God, I can't be in the club. Oh my God, I can't do this. But think about the perspective of what it's doing to the world around you to make it better. That's how I try. That's my context and what I try to do for myself to make myself feel better. I don't allow things to get me down so much that it's like, oh my God, I'm losing my mind. You have to find a way of adapting to this type of thing. And adapting, you're adapting to make things better. You have to wear your mask for now. The CDC is saying, wear your mask, just wear the mask so we can move on. I don't think people don't understand that. We want to move on. I want to move on. Yeah, I may be fine, doing what I do, but I want to move on. I want to live in the world the way we once lived, but we can't do that until people follow proper protocol. And if you're not following protocol, we're not gonna get anywhere. We're gonna be here.
Yeah. Pollution is a big thing. That even with the economy comes less trucks swimming on the road, whether it's in the city, whether it's in the water. I'm thinking about all the way around. You really hit on something with that pollution. There's a lot of cruise lines. I'm down in South Florida. They weren't running for a long period of time. It's a purging. It's a big purging throughout the globe, and that's necessary. I mean, because we were starting to really go in the opposite direction. What about the vaccine? Have you heard much about the vaccine? Or have you thought about it? I know you said something about your breathing and things of that nature. Were you ever are you asthmatic?
Yeah, I have mild asthma. Here's the thing with that. I feel as though the messaging for the vaccine was so wrong. And I'm a historical context person, as you know. Black people are disproportionately, we're just not inclusive with things. So now that something has come out where it's like, okay, we got to take this, we got to get a shot, it's like the flu shot, take it. A lot of people have that. I heard somebody say this the other day, that slave mentality that you're giving me this to kill me. You're not trying to help me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I am just wary. As of right now, I'm not for the vaccine. I don't care how much political people talk about it. I don't care how much celebrities talk about it. I'm not for it because I feel like I need to see that it's working. It's bringing down the volume. Although I heard on the news the other day that COVID is down significantly, I'm just still on the edge. Some days and I'm not gonna lie, some days I'm like, "Ugh, maybe I should take this vaccine just to be extra precautious." I had a conversation with my doctor 2 weeks ago, and she was studying to get the administered with the vaccine so she can start giving the patients. And she was like, yeah, I think you should really get it because it's going to help you. You have a better shot at fighting this. Again, I told you earlier, I'm vegan. I take a lot of immune building things to help myself. I don't put myself in situations where I'm exposed. So I feel like I'm fine. So it's just so much. It's so much. And again, for me, the messaging was wrong rolling out this vaccine. So I'm not shocked that people, especially people of color, like, I'm taking this, you're trying to kill me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get why people have that mindset. Now, for people, I strongly believe that older people should get it. Younger people is a little different. And it may sound like I'm being contradicting, but I'm really not. I, for myself, is wary. But when I see older people talk about wanting to be with their grandkids and wanting to be with their family and stuff, if you're comfortable, go ahead and take it. Who am I to judge you taking it? I'm just not really. Yeah.
Fear. It's funny because we're in the time of fear, and for me, I always say fear is the acronym false evidence that appears real. But you're evidence based or just in your mind. Do you feel as though are you fearful of COVID now? Are you fearful of what's out there with COVID now without vaccines or whatever have you, just with the information that you know and you've read? Do you govern yourself when you put your mask on? You have a certain fear as imminent danger. So
I do.
So now there's a virus out there that could potentially help you. We have researchers. We don't know because we don't have a timeline. We really don't have enough data with regard to So do you think that would reduce your fear? I guess that's what a lot of people have to just ask themselves, to help guide them through this process of thought. And that's just, I definitely understand what you're saying, especially when, we as a people tend to, as African Americans, and we tend to think, is this a theory or something, or they're out to get us or whatever? I don't know. My whole thing is that right now we have enough data. We have enough data where people are taken out. This isn't a black, white, gender thing. It's just what it is. It's a virus, and it's attacking everybody from across the water and here and every place. And we need to say to ourselves, I think, the fear that we have, can it be reduced by taking this vaccine? And and I know people get the shots and they're like, I'm done, I'm free, and the mask comes off. But that's not, you can't, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
You just that's a whole other conversation. But just to know that there's one layer of you being a little bit more safer. It's like, you might still want to do everything the CDC saying, double the mask and everything else, but you have that bit of confidence. It's like going into the boxing rink with the mouthpiece in. You're not expecting somebody to bust you in the mouth, but you just have a good, you're a little more confident knowing that you have your mouthpiece in, your headgear on. So, it's heavy duty. And with regard to the schools being closed and local government, what's happening there in Philly?
So the schools are closed. Most of my little cousins are schooling from home. The schools are closed. Everybody's home. The people their children are home. My neighbors, their kids are home, online schooling. That's what's going on for now. I think it's safer for kids. Kids are not responsible. They are not going to keep
Yeah.
their mask on. I was in
Oh
high school.
boy.
I was in junior high. I was there. You're like, that's
Yeah.
uncomfortable all day. You have a mask on. You're hot. Like, that's just too much.
Yeah.
I'd rather you
Yeah.
keep your kids home, safe, and let's try to figure out a plan to get
Mhm.
kids back in school. You know, I think kids do
Absolutely.
need to be in school, but as of right now, we just can't. You know, a lot of these kids, they rely on, the most hurtful thing for me is a lot of these kids rely on the food at school. They rely on the companionship with their friends, a lot of that. So I want us to get back to that point, but right now we just can't,
Yeah.
you know?
Gonna take some time. Gonna take some time.
Yeah.
So, now with the weather and you guys have been getting a lot of snow, I'm sure, right? You've been getting
Oh my
plenty of
God.
snow too?
I went out today to work and I had to leave work early because it was bad. It was snowing really heavy today. We've been getting snow. I told you earlier, Texas got snow. Like, it's the snow is just too much. I'm
Yeah.
not a snow person. Like, I'm from New York, and in New York, but the crazy thing about New Yorkers is that we don't mind. When I was like a little younger, like I didn't mind the snow. I like being in the snow and having fun in the snow. Now I'm just like, ugh, like I don't, yeah,
You're
I'm
over
not a
it, right?
snow. I'm so
Yeah.
over it. Like I just want it to be warm. Around this time, normally I'll be in Florida. Like I'll go to Miami every year for my birthday. Like I love Miami. So like now that I can't go, it's just like, oh my God. I've been in like this is gonna be 2 years.
And
Since I've
Miami, I'll
been.
tell you, Miami's still struggling because you have people that are pushing through and still coming down here, and they're absolutely going either. It's two ends. Either they're going because they're not coming. People do come down or come from different places. They have expectations. They're like, you know what? I want to party, and it's crazy. It's still
Yeah,
crazy.
I can't do that. Mm-mm.
Things have shifted so much. I moved down here, maybe about 3 and almost 4 years ago, and it's just seeing this, just seeing this change is just amazing. It's amazing how this COVID's really reshaped travel and everything, and the economy is incredible. I mean, down here there's so many places, new construction places, and people had big dreams of opening stuff up. They still had to keep on with the construction because the budget was done. But now you
Yeah.
have those buildings just sitting there. So now, do they have any curfews or anything set for Philadelphia?
No, the last curfew we had here was when the riots were happening with Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
But we don't have any curfews. We still can go out freely. Buses, trains, stores. You have to wear your mask all the time. You can't just be out without your mask. You do have those one or two people who are out. They don't have their mask on. But for the majority of people, they have their mask on. I told you earlier, I wear 2 masks.
Yeah.
That's just I rather have 2 masks on in the gym. I have 2 masks on.
Mm-hmm.
I sanitize. Don't sit next to me. Don't stand next to me. I'm very
On it.
on it. Yeah, because
You just don't know. So listen, you
just don't
mentioned
know.
you're vegan, and you've been vegan for some time.
Yes, I've been vegan. Oh my God, it's been a long time. Let me just tell you my journey, if you don't mind.
Sure. Sure.
So I stopped eating meat in 2014,
Mm-hmm.
and I was pescatarian, and then I became vegetarian, and then I became vegan. I've been vegan going on like 6 years. It's about 6 years since I've been like either 5 or 6 years. The transition happened so fast. But I enjoy being vegan. I love vegan. I think that it ultimately helps to be vegan and eating a lot of greens and vegetables, and I like being healthy. Like I love it.
And I heard you earlier when we were speaking, you were doing some cooking. What were you preparing?
So I just, sometimes I make I've been trying to cut out like rice, and I don't do potatoes, but like I make like a Beyond Meat burger with like a salad. I put like cranberries, almonds in salad. Sometimes we have this thing called Just Egg, It's a vegan egg substitute. So I'll make that, or I'll do some avocado, or I'll do a green shake. It just depends on like the mood that I'm in.
Hmm.
That I'll prepare something, you know.
Yeah. So now, and also, why don't you give me a little rundown on some of the supplements that because you mentioned the good things, black seed oil and things like that. What are some things that you can, just some takeaways for people, just so they can kind of, research it and, and maybe get a list of things that you would suggest to promote to for good health.
For good health?
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff that I think people should be taking is black seed oil. Black seed oil is good for your immune system. It's just overall a wellness product. I take vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams. I take B12. I take apple cider vinegar 2 to 3 times a day, depending on how much close I get to that. That's for just digestion.
Yeah, my wife believes in that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been taking Goldie gum, but I found like the apple cider vinegar pill, which has been working for me. What else do I take? I take so much. So
I was just looking at the gummies. She has the gummies right here. I was like, wow, it's amazing. So you're with, even with the youth, you got to try to take care of yourself, and I think yeah, because nothing's promised. You shared, have somewhat breathing breathing issues, but at the same time you got to keep in mind there's no guarantee for anybody. We have to take care of ourselves, because under these circumstances, when you step out there, you don't know what's coming around the corner in terms of the wind, direction. I remember I spoke with a surgeon not too long ago, and he was saying that, naturally it's 6 feet, but through the propulsion, a cough, a sneeze, it could be even further that you have to stay away. So it's and then these masks, a sneeze through a mask, please.
Oh my God. It's, I went to a place that we have here called Wawa. This wasn't in New York, but this is in Philly. It's like 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, so I was in there with a girl. This is when the pandemic was kind of still in the early stages. And me and her were talking. I was like, damn, I can't believe this is our life. And she was like, yeah, I can't believe it. I said, people weren't washing their hands before COVID. You weren't wiping things down. I was raised with a mother that had bleach, Fabuloso, everything on her counter, and cleaned every day. I was raised with family members that you didn't walk in your house with your shoes. Just all of these that that people are so crazy now with, and clearing out the grocery stores because they're like, oh my God, I need this, or I need that, or I need this, or I need that. And it's like, this is the regular day stuff. You wipe your phone down, you wipe your headphones down, you take a shower. These are things that I see my mom do as a kid and still now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just crazy.
You really do. And it's not a matter of taking for granted, but you really wonder, like, geez, how are we even surviving all these years with all the funk, and all the layers, the layers of stuff,
Yeah, I read an article too in New York. They cleaned the trains when they started cleaning the trains the way they did in New York City. And New York is, everybody stand in the train. You're like this next to somebody in New York.
Yeah.
And they started cleaning the trains at night. They were supposed to be doing that. I didn't know that. I thought that was something, oh my God, they're cleaning the trains. That was part of the thing. They were supposed to be cleaning the trains.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
In between runs, they're supposed to, right?
Yeah, and I've been wanting
to get. I think I may have had I had a conductor on. I don't want to say I didn't, and then I did, but you know what? That would be a good conversation to have, especially now. How cleaning in between, how do you do it? How do you handle it?
I was in New York a few weeks back, and I went to see my mom, and I saw how, like, when the train would come to the station, the cleaners will go and they would clean the train. But the
Mhm.
question that comes to my head is, are you using the same rag to clean? You know what I mean?
Right,
You're
right,
pulling
right,
one dirt off of one train to go to another train with the
right.
same rag. How is that helping me?
Because the bucket might be in the first car and you're at the 18th car and you're just like, you know what? I don't feel like walking all the way back down there. I still have a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
I get
it's
it.
so many. I'd rather them
You're
just
relying
spray.
on everybody's being responsible, and
Exactly.
all it takes is one person to drop the ball.
Oh my
That's
God.
it.
One person and everything would be just messed up. This is definitely a journey, I think, for everybody. This COVID
Certainly
stuff. I think
is.
everybody is really trying to put the pieces together. Like, how am I going to work with this? What am I going to do? How am I going to live? Like, it's just so many open questions that I think people are
Yeah,
having right now.
a lot of moving parts to this whole pandemic. So
Yeah.
listen, it's a blast having you come on, Sir the
Yes.
Ross.
Thank you.
It's real cool having you on. And you know what, Sir the Ross is pretty cool. That's just a good name for you, man. I think it's
I
actually
try.
suitable. We tried to push things around, and I'm telling you, I said, how do you want to be? And you know what? I agree. This is you all the way. So
Yeah,
I wish you all the
definitely.
best. I know you said you're in the process of making it happen for yourself permanently, and I think that's going to be a good move for you. You're very intelligent. You're very wise how you're moving about through the pandemic. I so appreciate you coming on this platform. So glad that you're on my social media platform with the Tommy Williams and YouTube channel.
Yes.
Folks, Sir the Ross he's the super cat, and so he's
Yes,
committing
I
himself
am.
to this. We have our meet and greet happening this Sunday.
Okay.
So by the time this show comes out, folks, the meet and greet would have met. But there'll be other times that we'll be doing our thing, and so moving forward, please come on out. You can get a little closer with the Tommy Cats and the Super Cats, and we'd love to have you. It's just positive vibes, as evidence from Sir the Ross. He's just such a thrill to actually have a conversation. I'm looking forward to going live later on and telling everybody of my experience having him on the show.
Please go live.
And, yeah, we just actually formally met today. This evening, just moments before we got on here, and I'll tell you, this is what the pandemic. This is the magic about the pandemic, because if not for the pandemic, I wouldn't meet Sir the Ross. I wouldn't have had this platform. I wouldn't have had the social media. I wouldn't have even cared about social media. So I'm so thankful for the enlightenment and all this happening. And I think that what will happen eventually is restoration. So everybody just keep the faith, hang on to the hope, and remember to always see your blessings as well. And Sir the Ross, it's a pleasure having you come on, and I want to wish you and your family all the best. We'll see you a little later.
All right, see you soon.
Okay, buddy, you take care. God bless you.
All right, bye.
All right, folks. Well, we had another good one for you. I appreciate you hanging on tight to that saddle, and that bridle right there was close inside that horse's mouth, and I had to make sure we pulled on the reins occasionally, and naturally let things ride. I like to have a nice organic show as we move along, and it was so organic that Sir the Ross had tipped up a glass of wine in cheer, naturally, being on the Tommy Williams show. I can't blame him. What a great place it is, folks. Looking forward to new folks coming on and more talent coming this way. We had Sir the Ross this evening. We also had Danny Rockmalowitz, who did his COVID song and even did a little singing along with it. So you got some singing. It was a little small area. He might have pulled out some cardboard, did some break dancing on the next time. But you know what that guy is good for? Blowing that sax. So I look forward to having Saxman Dan come back at another time. Sir the Ross, it was fantastic having him on. And folks, I just want to say that, we're moving on, and there is nobody free and clear of coming on with the wrong thing to say. Just share with Tommy Williams on the Tommy Williams Show and enlighten the universe, because we could always use some more information, folks. So please continue to watch the Tommy Williams Show. And you can also catch me on YouTube at Tommy Williams. Look for the pink T, subscribe, and hop aboard for some more positive vibes. Thank you very much, folks. Take care, God bless, and stay mashed up.
Now, glutathione is a big word. but it's the body's own master antioxidant. So it's a scavenger for free radicals, for bacteria, and what's relevant now, viruses. This is new to the marketplace. There's no other product on the market that has the ingredient NACET.
And basically NACET increases the production of that glutathione that is in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system and keep it strong. Elevated sense of well-being. Supports muscle strength and endurance. Cognitive function. Powerful liver support. Energy. Helps blood sugar regulation. Superior bioavailability of key ingredients.
One of your best defenses against COVID is a strong immune system. Taking GSH Plus as a daily supplement does all that. And now we have the product out on the marketplace.